Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the show. Thank you so much for clicking. Um, Today we're going to talk about Pam Bondi, the new um, prosecutor for the United States presidency. Um, yeah, she's the Attorney General for the United States of America. What does that mean? That means that wherever she faces the FBI or CIA or wherever she faces, they follow, theoretically. That's what's supposed to happen. So, Pam Bondi, she was confirmed a while ago. Um, but I don't think people really stop and think about like what's the actual consequences here. We just came off of Merrick Garland. He was the attorney general there for a while, and his sole focus was on people of the right for some weird reason. Um, he completely made crossing the border a non issue. Everybody who came across got across. Um, and but he made sure that if you had anything to do with January 6th, or let's say you're protesting for anti-abortion, whatever, and you get in trouble with the law, basically where we came from was a night and day difference to where we are right now. So the FBI and Department of Justice, or DOJ, are now directed or oriented towards some pretty amazing stuff. It's almost emotional when I think about it, but um, instead of the DOJ being directed towards American citizens, which I never understood. Why would you go after your own citizens when you have all of these immigrants who are not following the proper chain of command to get into the immigration system? They're at the gate and being let in. So it it's weird to kind of grasp why an attorney general would focus on the people rather than protecting the people, focus on what they're doing wrong. Sounds like a terrible school teacher, honestly. So that's what we can wrap up Merrick Garland. You know, Merrick Garland was almost selected to be a Supreme Court justice. Could you imagine this horrible human being uh, on a lifetime position? No, thank you. Those court judges are powerful. Um, so, what are we looking at right now? Pam Bondi is directing all of these agencies to go after the bad guys. So we haven't been going after the bad guys. And it's depressing when you think that you're a law abiding citizen and you see somebody get targeted because of their Americanness. It's mind boggling. Now we're able to look at our Department of Justice and be proud of it because they're going after the pedophiles, they're going after the kidnappers, they're going after people who worked the system. Um, it's just really important to, just for morale's sake, as like an American, that now I know that bad guys are being put away. So, what bad guys are we talking about here? Pam Bondi mentioned today, um, in the afternoon, I think, that all of these Epstein files. Epstein, if you don't know, was the kind of multi-millionaire uh, black ops kind of uh, blackmailer, really. So he had this whole setup to get people in compromising positions, taking pictures of them, and utilizing that um, for government security, I guess. That's what the CIA has, and what they think is fun. As the way to protect the government is to get people in compromising positions with minors. It's like, I'm sure that there are 1,000 different ways. Like, we don't have to go with the disgusting way. I mean, come on. But it looks like um, his island was the place to do whatever they did. There's some pretty horrible stories out there, but Pam Bondi is looking after us. We went 4 years of Merrick Garland hiding all of that. It's like, why don't you want us to see this horribleness? You know, we know what went down, um, but just let us get the gratification of having a full court. You know, put somebody in blame. I know that there must be some pretty powerful names on that list. So we'll see how Pam Bondi does. I think just the attitude coming from Pam Bondi and her office is already making people feel more patriotic, um, less scummy about being an American. Um, I know for me, having to look in the news day in and day out and just see nonsense and nobody getting um, arrested or charged with anything except for the January Sixers. Um, I lived in Washington, D.C. for, I don't know, like 2 months up until the election. I mean, the transfer of power. And if I had moved 2 months later, I would have been an insurrectionist. So I just, and I told all my family, um, I was like, the only thing that would really make me hate Donald Trump at this point, because I've always been a daddy Trumper. I love that man. Daddy Trump all the way, from 2015 to 2025. Just been, I'm all for that man. God bless him. But I said there was one thing that he could do to lose my trust, and that is if he doesn't pardon every single January 6er. And that's what I said, and that's what I stood by. And day one, what did he do? He released everybody who was charged, everybody who was being contained on day one. And I was like, okay, wow. I was a big ask, you know, but he followed through. So I'm very hopeful in looking at the future, and um, follow for more videos about our government, the way that we're going, different decisions that are occurring. Um, yeah, and I hope you have a great one. Peace.